For years, activists have been saying that Canada's laws around HIV disclosure just don't make a lot of sense.
Canada's approach to the criminalization of HIV is unjust, unscientific, and it undermines public health.
In December, the federal government and Ontario took some major steps towards reform. But before we get to that, maybe we should talk about why Canada's laws around HIV are a little bit bonkers. For many years now, Canada has convicted hundreds of people for not telling their sexual partners that they're HIV positive. And on its face, that might make a lot of sense. Many people would think it's wrong to not tell someone you're having sex with that you have a chronic infection that could put their health at risk. Most people who are charged with aggravated sexual assault, which is criminal law speak for rape. But here's the thing. For a lot of people who are convicted, it was essentially physically impossible for their sexual partner to get HIV. And we know that because of a magical thing we call science. Recent research has shown that if you've been properly taking your HIV meds for a while, you're essentially no longer infectious to other people, even if you don't use a condom. In other words, we've been putting a lot of people in prison for rape, even though they didn't actually cause harm to anyone. And there was practically zero risk that they could cause harm to anyone. And because of the way the law has evolved, we've now started putting people in prison for not telling their partners that they have herpes, which, while embarrassing, definitely 100% cannot kill you. After the United States and Russia, Canada convicts the most people for HIV non-disclosure.
There have now been over 200 prosecutions in Canada, which is one of the highest rates of HIV criminalization in the world.
And usually, Canada likes to be a world leader, but in this case, it's probably not a record we want to be proud of. So let's get back to those changes that the feds in Ontario announced. In a big report in December, the federal government finally admitted that science is a real thing, and it's probably not a great idea to keep putting all of these folks in prison for something that essentially couldn't hurt anyone else. And Ontario said that they won't be prosecuting people as long as they've been uninfectious for 6 months, use a condom, or just engaging in some good old-fashioned oral sex. So that's good, right? Well, yes, but there's still a lot of problems with the current system. For one, only Ontario has announced they'll be changing anything. And despite what a lot of Torontonians might believe, there are, in fact, a whole bunch of other provinces in Canada. Saskatchewan has twice the rate of new HIV infections as the rest of the country, and the Conservative government there is still saying no to safe injection sites. Are they going to ease up on prosecutions? It seems pretty unlikely. The same goes for Manitoba and other provinces. So why doesn't the federal government just actually change the criminal law? After all, they're the ones in charge. If the federal government actually believes the science, they should follow through on that and amend the criminal code so that we stop putting people in prison for doing something that can't actually hurt anyone.